One issue I'm having with the Prelude is at nighttime when I'm trying to drive, I can't see anything because people's lights behind me are just blinding the crap out of me. So what I'm doing today is installing some tint. And I'm excited to do this because one, it's a DIY. I've always gotten my cars tinted by a professional, and I've paid anywhere between like $100 to $250, I'm sure. This time, instead of doing it through a professional, we're gonna try and do it ourselves on the Prelude. I figure, why not? The windows are pretty small, which may or may not hurt us. Picked up some 35% tint from a company called Lexan. They are pre-cut, so we shouldn't have to do any cutting or trimming on the tint itself. It should just be mounting it and placing it. I've never done tinting before, so this is gonna be new for me, hopefully new for you. Maybe it'll inspire you to go tint your car yourself or something. Maybe tint your girlfriend's car, I don't know. We're gonna give it a shot today on the Prelude. So this video was actually supposed to be recorded about a week ago, but the company, I mean, it was their fault, but I'm not salty about it, so it's all good. They fixed it, they overnighted the new tint, but they actually sent me tint for a 1998 Honda Prelude. So I currently have that. If any of you guys have a 98 Honda Prelude and want some pre-cut tint, I can ship it to you. You just pay for the shipping and that's yours. I'll show you guys what I'm gonna be using to make this happen. First off is a rag to clean the windows with. I've got some water just with dish soap in here. You want to use, I guess, a mild soap. I'm not really sure why, but use a more mild soap. Razor blades in here. This is the squeegee from the kit they sent me for the 1998 tint. So I'm going to use that anyways. And then if we open this thing up, should have some proper tint in here. There's the tint itself. Now we have two squeegees. That should be very helpful for pulling the trim away while I try and tuck the tint. What's not very helpful is holding the camera while you're trying to do this, so I'm gonna put you guys down. That's better. I'm not upset about it, but I hope you guys realize how much longer it takes to do these installs, which could probably take half the amount of time, just because I'm filming and setting up the camera and doing all other sorts of stuff. So I hope you guys appreciate that. Here's a quick look at the tint. I don't know if that really picks it up very well, but it's basically perforated, so you just have to, wow, it is super dark. This is exactly what I'm talking about, constantly moving the camera around. I'm just gonna set up the first window and then we'll take a look and I'll show you what the tint looks like. I've got the driver's side front ready and lined up. I had to figure out which side was which based on which side had the adhesive film. So there's actually a layer on here that we're gonna peel off. So that's the perforation in the film. Maybe that picks that up. What I have to do next is peel off all this excess that's not the exact size of the window, take all of that off, and then peel the backing off so it exposes the tint adhesive, flip to the other side, and mount it onto the actual face of the window. A little nervous, not gonna lie, just kind of messing around with this. I did cut off some of the film already, but I have to go back and fine tune it. It's a little nerve-wracking. The tint doesn't move as much as I thought it was going to and kind of give you the flexibility, kind of like what vinyl wrap does, but it's a little less forgiving. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this and see if we can get this window looking good. This takes so long. You still basically have to cut the tint. Although it gives you the pattern, you still have to go through with a razor blade and cut this edge. And it's kind of a pain in the ass, not gonna lie. I guess I'll catch up with you guys once I have this thing prepped and ready to go on the window. I pre-cut the wrong side. Well, that was one of the most demoralizing things I've ever done, I think, for a car mod. Kind of came out like absolute crap. The perforation on the tint itself apparently is only on one side. It didn't perforate all the way through, so you have to really make sure you're cutting the perforation with your blade on the correct side. Otherwise, you'll think you'll be on the perforated line and it'll just skip off and you'll cut the tint like I did. in numerous places too. Next up on the problem list, well, here, this is how it came out. Like from a distance, it's not bad, and I'm definitely gonna finish the rest of the car because now I've got one tinted window. Now my expectations are just a lot lower. So anyways, what I was gonna say is there's air bubble here, 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 up here in this corner. Right up here is where I cut the tint so it won't lay flat. This corner, I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but we got a wrinkle here. More fingers, I think that's what they're called right here. So I guess now let's try and do this window. See if this one comes out any better. Alright guys, so I have this side all done, and this one actually went on like a piece of cake. It wasn't actually cut to the perfect size. If you can maybe tell, it's a lot easier to tell from the inside, but this line up here, I had to kind of space it evenly so that way there was just a little bit of light coming in on this side and just a little bit on this side. Overall, I mean, it definitely makes the car look a lot better having the darker windows. What I'm gonna do is keep my confidence going, and I'm gonna jump over to the other side and do this same window, and then I'll do this one, and then we will tackle the back last, because this is going to be definitely the hardest one just because of the sharp curve here. So I'm going to have to put the tint on the outside, heat it up, and mold it to the windshield. I'm also going to have to take off this, possibly going to have to take off the strut bar. Yeah, it's going to be fun. This window is completely done, and the coverage is pretty much perfect on this. There's really no light coming in. Oh yeah, I guess you can see a little bit right there. Here it is from the outside. So we have the tint, no tint. I think it's most obvious when you kind of come at an angle a little bit, and now the window looks so much more dark than the front. Now I'm gonna attempt this other passenger side window. So this time I removed the two bolts that were right here holding in this seatbelt harness. So that should make my life a lot easier when I'm doing this side. All right guys, so I finished up the car and windows are all done. This is how it came out. I think this side is okay. Yeah, it's okay. We'll show you the back last. This side came out, I think, even better than the other side. Like this, these ones were so easy to do. The fronts were a lot easier once I took off the piece here. So I unbolted these two and then actually removed this so I could get and tuck the tint behind all that. But the back is what came out horrible. So I'm embarrassed to even show you guys. It's gonna have to get redone no matter what, but here it is. Look at that. So many, it looks like my window's cracked because of how many actual air bubbles and streaks are in here, and this just looks so bad. Because of the angle of the windshield right here, it was really hard to get it to wrap around, because you have to remember that tint is basically like a really thin plastic, so it's still a solid. It's not as malleable as like a vinyl wrap would be. So just keep that in mind if you're doing it. And maybe, I know they sell some in like, it's called like an easy rear, and you can do it in 3 or 2 different sections to make that a little bit easier, but that's how it came out. It's gonna have to get redone anyways at some point, and I'll probably just end up redoing the whole thing. But I do like the tint look. And for now, at least, I won't be blinded at night. It looks pretty good, especially with that new fitment. I'm so stoked on how this thing is coming out. But with that being said, I think that's gonna wrap up the video for today. Thank you guys so much for watching and watching me fail doing this tint. I hope you learned something and learned from my mistakes. As always, like, comment, subscribe. I will see you next time. Peace out.